Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Monday morning meeting. We are the official Insurance Brothers.
Oh my gosh, the only insurance
the one and
brothers.
only. You can't mimic this.
Yes.
So shout out to our insurance bros here in house. Mike Spence, Greg Braden.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Good work,
I
boys.
love it.
That was nice parody.
Yep. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. How was your weekend?
Nuggets won. That's all I care about.
Go Nuggies, man.
Yes. We're gonna do it.
NBA playoff basketball. I love it.
A little draft as well. That was fun.
Yeah.
We're big sports guys.
Yeah.
So.
The NFL draft, Cashville did it up right.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. That was like a cool setting. One of them kind of made me want to go down there.
Maybe we should host next year. I don't know why Denver hasn't gotten there.
I know.
The draft kit.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah,
I'd be down. Yeah.
We'll have an insurance brothers set down there.
Invite us if you're in that city and you're going to have a party. We want to come.
Clearly.
So invite the insurance brothers. We always like an excuse to have a weekend off.
Absolutely.
So, there you go.
What about you? What'd you do this weekend?
Oh man, housework, kid work, the whole nine. Yep.
What's kid work?
I'm very domesticated.
Clearly, you're a house kid.
I'm my children's butler, so whatever they need, I get, and it's continuous. It never stops.
Yeah,
and it's my own fault. We allow it, so I can only blame myself at the end of the day.
So you probably need to be watching like the Insurance Brothers, but for like parenting.
Yeah,
for parenting.
Yeah, if there's an Insurance Brothers for parenting, send it over because I'm an enabler.
Clearly.
I allow my producers to stay on staff with not a lot of results.
You're not setting goals for them.
I'm not setting goals. I really don't set good expectations, and I close their sales.
I don't know why you're not just mimicking what you do as a sales manager in an effort to be a good leader.
You would think it'd be so easy. It just doesn't translate. They walk all over me. I gotta step up.
We're not scaling very well.
Good news is they're still young. We still have time, so I will mold them at some point. So, well, let's jump in. Hopefully everybody had a great week last week, found some value from Tyler Kemp, Venture Tactics, and the Omnipresence system.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I was going to say reach out to him. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that Insurance Brothers from last week, I would recommend it. It's really some helpful tools for your social media branding for your business. I know it's a bit long. We like to keep these as short as possible, but for Tyler, it was just well worth it.
Yep, he brings good value to everyone. Yep. Certainly direct message him. He's got it going.
Yep.
We're learning from him too.
Yeah, we've learned a lot from him. He's very savvy. So definitely utilize him as a resource, and he loves to help sales professionals. So let's jump into today's topic. Want to talk about goal setting. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while now, and as I meet with different sales leaders, I like to get their perspective on how they set goals for their producers.
Yeah.
It's always interesting. People's different philosophies.
Yeah, and there's a formula for each industry. Specifically with the way we do it, we like to work backwards. I like to set the goal based on what I'm looking to make and work your way back. And there's a formula behind that. Yep. So that's our strategy in here. And obviously, you each have your own way of doing it and how you want to get to the end of the road here. A lot of different paths, but that goal setting is vital.
Yep.
So,
do
you want to talk about what you like to do?
Yeah, I would. Thank you for asking. Yes. Excellent question. So I like to work a bit backwards as well, especially when I'm working with my sales team as a sales leader. I like to look at the activities that build up to the production. I don't always like to just slap a number down and say, hey, we're going to do, 5 homes this month, or you're going to do 3 mortgages this month, or you're going to do this much in production. That's all fine and good, but how are we going to get there, right? From a producer's point of view, you still leave that huge gray area of, okay, this sounds great, and I'd love to hit that number, but what are the steps involved in getting there? And so I like to take producers from day one with me to really set activity goals, right? So first things first, it's marketing, right? You have to have the marketing in place because you have to have the leads coming in. So if you're self-gen leads system, you have to have the lead sources and the system set up so that you can produce the numbers that you're looking to produce. And step one is setting up the system to get the leads.
Yeah, so you're saying you could take your first few months of literally not doing any production in an effort to make sure the rest of your day or the rest of your year goes well. Right.
And it's a big faux pas, I think, as sales leaders. They're too quick to fire producers that maybe aren't putting up the numbers right away, but the activity's there.
Yeah.
Right? There's a big distinction between the two. In my opinion, your first couple months, as you said, is better served doing the activities that are going to bring in the leads, because then you're setting them up for long-term success, right? Other than grinding the first couple months, just trying to squeak out some production.
Yeah.
that doesn't create a system of long-term success. And usually the producer's not that happy.
That's working for today, not for tomorrow. And you want to work towards tomorrow in an effort to really do something that you're building a solid foundation that you can work off of for many years, right? So that's well said. I think what we're trying to basically get down to is to say, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're just really making sure that you're set up for success long term. So setting a goal of activity is great. It gives you that persistency and that consistent, look and feel each and every day. And it leads to something. It really does. Whether you see it today or tomorrow, it's going to happen.
Well, and it also it creates excitement in your producer, right? Because they're feeling more confident about the harder part of the sales business, which is generating leads, right? You can teach someone how to close. You can teach somebody to be good in the systems and submitting the deal, whatever that looks like for you, the paperwork side. But the biggest stress on salespeople is how am I going to get leads, right? How am I going to produce enough opportunities in order to hit the goals that I've set out to achieve? And so this really eases their mind in your system, which then creates longer term producers in your model because they're happier, they're confident, they know that they can do it from A to Z. So attacking that from day one, saying let's not turn a blind eye to what we really need to be doing. It's the lead gen. We need to create our marketing systems so that, again, we can advance forward with confidence. So that's my goal setting is I set a daily, weekly, monthly goal. How many people are you going to visit? How many people are you going to hit up on LinkedIn? How many people are you going to call? How many current client referrals are you going to ask for? How many thank you notes are you going to send out? How many birthday texts are you going to send out? All that stuff.
It's in line with your to-do list each and every day, probably done at the same time throughout the day. And you just know you're getting it done because it's in order. And that being said, either you pay someone to do it for you or you take time to make sure you get it done yourself, but as long as it happens.
Yeah. And I'm always a proponent of kind of doing it yourself at first, just so you can respect the process and understand then when you get good at it, where you can hire someone to do the nominal work that you don't really need to do. But it allows you to integrate that sort of setup into your process pretty seamlessly.
So another way to look at this, if you want to get down to dollars and cents, is let's say you have an end goal of wanting to make, and you're in a commission business, you want to make $10,000 this month. Why am I going to get $10,000? Well, I'm going to take my goal of that amount. I'm going to divide it by the close ratio that I feel is appropriate, call it 50%. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide that by the average commission per sale. And then you're going to get the number of leads that you need to have in that specific order. So then I know how many leads I need. What is the activity I'm taking to get there? So that's kind of the equation.
And my recommendation that's great. That's great. My recommendation would be think about what the highest quality lead is going to be for your industry, right? Where does the highest quality lead come from? How does that close ratio reach its peak for my industry? And those are the leads that you need to start creating from day one. If you're an insurance agent, don't just resort to buying internet leads. That is a cop-out. It's a cop-out. Same thing with mortgage and real estate. It tends to be a cop-out. You can put daily activities in place where you can go generate very warm referrals from trusted business partners that you have. And those things are going to close at a lot higher clip. They're going to be a much more enjoyable client to work with usually. And in the long run, it's going to lead to more referrals. So I always say a person that shops online is always going to shop you online. Sure. You may close them this year, but they're back shopping next year online.
And in the insurance business, that's not the type of client.
Yeah, that's a one in, one out. Nobody wants to go to that night.
It could be a good supplement for the first couple months while you are getting this base built, but definitely don't make that your end all.
Yep, exactly.
Now we're pivoting on the marketing side. So back to the goal planning side.
But you get it, back to the goal planning side. And then lastly, I'll leave you with this. Sales leaders, make sure that you are holding your producers to an expectation, but also understand what they're doing, right? You want to see the activity of the path that you've laid out, but then don't beat them up after 2 months if they don't have the production that you're looking for. It's all about the activity. If you know they're doing activity that's going to generate business at some point, it's inevitable, then you need to ride with them, right? Don't be in their ear after 2 months because they're not producing. That's not a good leader.
That being said, if it's 6 months down the road, still not happening, you probably didn't make the right hire, or you're not the right person.
They're not doing what they say they're doing because a good marketing strategy is inevitable, right? I mean, if you're actually out grinding, implementing the strategy, it's going to work eventually. So, Yep.
Perfect.
Well, we will leave you with that this week. Hopefully it helps. The Insurance Brothers are here for you, so we want to hear from the IB community. Post on this video, send us a DM, email us. We are available. We want to hear your thoughts, questions, ideas.
Last but not least, I really
yeah.
want to get some Insurance Brothers swag going. You know,
yeah, man, shirts, maybe like some scarves of some sort.
Yeah. We got to get a mascot or something.
Some sick socks.
Some sort.
I hope everybody has a very successful week, and we'll see you next Monday.
We'll get it, guys.
Thanks.